And separation of powers, we have already discussed the meaning of the separation of powers, various organs, that is legislative, judiciary and executive. వివిధ మూడు శాఖల యొక్క పవర్స్ ఏంటి, ఆ అధికారాలు ఏ విధంగా విభజించబడ్డాయి అనే విషయాన్ని ఈ సెక్షన్లో మనం డిస్కస్ చేయబోతున్నాం. అండ్ డిస్ప్యూట్ రిడ్రెసల్ మెకానిజమ్స్ అండ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డిస్కస్, మీన్స్ వేరియస్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ బాడీస్ and the comparison of Indian constitutional scheme with that of the, so we are going to compare the Indian constitution with the other constitutions. And parliament we are going to discuss the parliament and state legislatures, parliament and state legislatures. Next one, parliament and state legislatures. Parliament and state legislature. So this is called legislative. This is called legislative organs of the state government as well as the central government. And the parliament and state legislature, structure and functioning, conduct of business, powers and privileges, issues arising out of it. These 4 sections we are going to discuss in the parliament and state legislature. And structure and functioning and conduct of business. So next one, executive and judiciary, pressure groups and constitutional bodies. These are some of the topics in the mains examination. Next one, the statutory, regulatory and quasi judicial bodies like COG we are going to discuss, like COG, Election Commission of India, State Election Commission and Central Election Commission of India. These are going to discuss in regulatory and statutory and quasi judicial bodies. So what do you mean by the constitutional bodies and statutory bodies? Constitutional bodies nothing but they are directly established by the constitution, that in the form of different articles, in the form of different features. Statutory means these are the bodies, they are established by the law made by the parliament. They are established by the law. They are established by the law made by the parliament. Regulatory and quasi judicial bodies, that means they are semi judicial bodies. So government policies and interventions for the development in various sectors and issues arising out of it. What are the issues, what are the problems what are the problems arising out of the government policies? Recently the Telangana government introduced the free bus for the women, but some issues arising out of it. Why? Because the auto walas, means those are depending on livelihood, those livelihood depending upon the auto traveling, means auto, and they were thrown out of their employment. Their revenue has come down drastically with the free bus policy. So the government should give the schemes, but also at the same time the government should focus on the issues arising out of those policies. Now we are going to discuss in this session policies of the government and also the problems of those policies and the criticism of those policies, how their policies and going in a wrong way, and what are the advantages, disadvantages of those policies implemented by the government. And welfare schemes, same, what are the welfare schemes, what are the different type of the welfare schemes that are implemented by the various state governments and central government, like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, one of the welfare scheme implemented by the central government for the welfare of the girl childs, to increase the sex ratio in the country, to protect the girl child, to increase the girl education and the welfare of the girl child. And what are the issues relating it, what are the advantages, what are the mechanisms to implement those welfare schemes, what are the issues arising out of it, ఏ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వస్తున్నాయి, ఏ ప్రాబ్లం. బేటీ బచావో బేటీ పడావో స్కీమ్ కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం మీద కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయడం జరిగింది. ఇందులో ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఏంటి, ఏ మెకానిజం ద్వారా ఆ పర్టికులర్ కార్యక్రమాన్ని వాళ్ళు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తున్నారు, అది ఏ విధంగా ఉపయోగపడుతుంది, అందులో అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఏంటి, డిసడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఏంటి, ఇవన్నీ మనం డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం యాజ్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద గవర్నమెంట్. సో ఇష్యూస్ రిలేటింగ్ టు ద డెవలప్మెంట్ అండ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ సెక్టార్స్, దట్ మీన్స్ health, education and human resource. What are the different schemes, what are the different programs implemented by the government in the health sector, in the education sector, and various other sectors. And issues relating to the poverty and hunger, పేదరికానికి అండ్ ఆకలికి సంబంధించినటువంటి ఇష్యూస్ ఏంటి, ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ ద గవర్నెన్స్, ట్రాన్స్పరెన్సీ, వాట్ డూ యూ మీన్ బై ట్రాన్స్పరెన్సీ, what do you mean by accountability? Transparency nothing but to open, to implement, to clarify what are the, to clarify to the people, to give the information to the people, what are the different activities of the government, how the schemes are implemented by the government. So that is the transparency, accountability, and e-governance, applications, limitations, applications and successes and potential. And what are the citizen charters? Citizen charter is a fundamental document. It is a document which clearly mention the service that are provided by the government to the citizens, and the government should provide the quality services. Number one, quality services the government should provide to the citizens, as well as the particularly timely action should by the government. One particular giving the ration card to the people, and ration card should be issued by the, that ration card should be issued by the government to the people within the 15 days. If the Charter Act mentioned within the 15 days, the government, the MRO office, the government should be issued the ration card, or local government should issue the ration card to the people. That means within 15 days, strictly those timings should strictly followed by the government without any bribe. ఏ లంచం తీసుకోకుండా సమయంలో పర్టికులర్ సమయంలో సేవలు అందించినట్లయితే సేవలు అందించే లిస్ట్నే సిటిజన్ చార్టర్ అంటారు. సిటిజన్ చార్టర్, దీస్ ఆల్ టాపిక్స్ విల్ కవర్ అండర్ ది గవర్నెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద ఇండియా. దే ఆర్ నాట్ అండర్ ది పాలిటీ, దే ఆర్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది గవర్నెన్స్. ఇన్ ద సిలబస్, ఇన్ ద UPSC syllabus, they are mentioned, the prelims they are mentioned polity as well as the governance. Next one, what are the constitution? Under the constitution we are going to discuss constitution topics. In part 1 we are going to historical background. We already discussed making and preamble, basic structure, comparative study, union and territory, citizenship, fundamental rights, direct principle of state policy. Next one, under the part 2, central government is the emergency provisions, amendment to the constitution. Central government, parliament, executive, and next one, state government, and local government. Simple. Some of the basic features, and the next one central government, next one state government, and the next one local government, next one constitutional bodies, statutory bodies. So broadly the syllabus divided into second, third, fourth, fifth. So 6 topics broadly. First one, some of the basic features. Second one, central government. We'll discuss about the central government. We'll discuss about the state government. We'll discuss about the local government. And next one, constitutional bodies, and next one, statutory bodies. So these are the broadly divided the syllabus of the Indian polity. Now if you observe the trends of the Indian polity in Indian civil service exam, the trends of the Indian polity, in the civil service examination, the preliminary examination weightage is about, in the prelims the weightage is about 20% to 25%. Why means 80 questions are, 100 questions are there, each one 2 marks, that is means 200 marks. That means 200 marks. In that, roughly 20 questions in every year will come from the polity and governance. If you see the trends in 2013 16, 2014 14, 15 16 7, 17 22, 18 13, 19 15, 20 17, 21 14 and 22 17 came in the prelims. This is the trend of the Indian polity in preliminary exam. In the mains point of view, 70% of the paper 2 consisting of Indian polity, governance, next one international relations, IR and social justice. In this, paper 2 will be 70% of the paper 2 will be covered by these two sections, polity and governance. Next one, APPSC Group 1 prelims paper 1, constitution, polity, and more or less the same topics mentioned in the APPSC Group 1 and TSPSC Group 1 also same topics were mentioned. Indian constitution, polity, examine the key principles and provisions of the Indian constitution, more or less same. In the mains, in the APPSC mains, the paper 3 polity, constitution and governance and law and ethics. Out of 5 papers, there is a paper 3 in which the polity syllabus is mentioned for the 150 marks. So 150 marks, under the 150 marks would be covered from the polity as well as the governance. 150 marks covered from the polity as well as the governance. So if you remove the law and ethics, roughly 100 marks will come. 100 marks will come from the polity and governance. Here also about 30 to 35% of the questions will come from the polity and constitution, social justice, etc. In group 1 prelims, and so around 30% will be covered by the polity and constitution. Under the mains, if you take the mains and paper 3, out of the 6 papers, there is a paper 3 under the TSPSC Group 1 examination, Indian society, constitution and governance is mentioned. So like that, the polity will also, our discussion will help to crack the APPSC, TSPSC as well as the civil service examination. So mains 75 marks will be covered under the group 2. So if you take the group 2 also, our discussion will also help for the group 2 examination also. In group 2 mains, APPSC group 2 mains, 75 marks will be covered from the polity and governance. 75 marks will be covered under the polity and governance. TSPSC group 2 under the paper 2, TSPSC group 2 under the, there are 4 papers. One paper consisting of 150 marks, total 600 marks. Total 600 marks for the group 2 of the TSPSC group 2. So under this second paper, that means 150 marks, and out of 150 marks, at least if you bar the society, 100 marks will come from the polity. 100 marks, at least 50 marks. 50 marks will cover by the TSPSC group 2. And this is the Rajyangam, Paripalana, Samajika Nyayam. Same syllabus is mentioned in the Telugu. This is TSPSC group 1 and group 2 syllabus. you go through it if you wanted to go through it. And book list, NCERT, how to read NCERT. If you go to the book list, what are the sources to read the polity? First one, the freshers should read 6th to 12th NCERT, and if you don't wanted to read 6th to 12th, at least you read 11th and 12th NCERT. Why? Because 6 to 10 all topics will be covered in 11th and 12th. And next one, M. Lakshmikant is a popular book, everybody knows about it. Next one, the current affairs. In the exam, in paper 3 of the in the paper 2 of the mains examination of the civil service examination, in civil service examination paper 2 in the mains, almost 70% out of the 250 marks, around 170 marks will cover from the polity and governance topics. Most of the topics will pick up from the Hindu newspaper, means current affairs. So every topic that is accompanied with the current affairs. Without current affairs, there will be no study of the polity as well as the governance in the examination point of view. So most of the topics will cover in the current affairs. So along with the reading of the NCERT and M. Lakshmikant book, you should focus on the regular and daily current affairs. So this is all about the introduction. Thank you very much. And we are going to discuss the historical background of the Indian Constitution and different laws we will discuss in the next session. Thank you very much.